You are standing in a supermarket. The lights are bright. The shelves are full. You have a list in your hand. Simple, right? Except the list is in your head, in your language, in the words you grew up with. And now you are standing here in a country where everything is in English, and you cannot remember the word for the thing you need. You look around. You see a worker nearby. You want to ask for help, but the words disappear. Your mind goes blank. You smile. You nod. You walk away with the wrong thing. Sound familiar? This happens to English learners every single day when they live abroad. Not because they are not smart, not because they did not study. It happens because real life is different from a classroom. Real life does not wait for you to think of the right word. Real life happens fast, loud, and without a textbook. But here's the truth that every learner who survived this stage will tell you. It gets better. Every day, a little at a time. It gets better. Today we are going to follow someone who knows this truth. His name is Marco. He is 27 years old. He grew up in São Paulo, Brazil. 3 months ago, he moved to Toronto, Canada. His English was good in Brazil. He studied for years. He passed his tests. He felt confident. And then he landed at the airport, and everything changed. This is his day. This is a day in the life of an English learner living abroad in 2026. Part 1. The Morning Panic. Marco's alarm goes off at 7 in the morning. He lies in bed for a moment. He stares at the ceiling. Today he has to call his landlord about a problem with the heating. A phone call, in English, with a stranger. He has been putting this off for 4 days. I will do it tomorrow, he kept saying. But tomorrow is today. Marco takes a breath. He sits up. Before he does anything else, he opens a notes app on his phone. He has a section called Phone Call Words. He reads through it slowly. The heating is not working. The temperature is too cold. Can you send someone to fix it? What day will they come? Could you repeat that, please? That last one is the most important. One of the first things Marco learned when he arrived in Canada was this. It is okay to ask someone to repeat themselves. In Brazil, he thought that asking someone to repeat was embarrassing. It meant you were not listening. It meant you did not understand. Here he learned that it is normal, natural, even polite. Could you say that again, please? Sorry, I did not quite catch that. Could you speak a little slower, please? These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of someone who is serious about communication. Marco finishes reading his notes. He makes himself a coffee. He stands by the window and watches the street below. Toronto is gray this morning, a little cold, but alive. People are already moving, walking fast, holding cups of coffee just like him. He likes that. He feels less alone. Part 2. The phone call. At 8:45, Marco makes the call. His heart is beating fast. His hand is a little sweaty on the phone. The landlord answers after 2 rings. Good morning. This is David. Marco speaks, clearly, slowly. Good morning, David. This is Marco. I live in apartment 3B. I am calling because the heating is not working. It has been cold for 4 days. There is a pause. Oh, hi, Marco. Yeah, sorry about that. We've had a few complaints. A technician is coming Thursday morning. Is that okay? Marco understands most of it, but technician, he knows the word, but hearing it fast in a sentence with a Canadian accent, it takes him 1 extra second. He does not panic. He uses his phrase, "Sorry, could you repeat the day? I want to make sure I understand." Thursday, David says more clearly. The day after tomorrow, between 9 and 12. Perfect, Marco says. Thank you very much, David. I will be home. He hangs up. He sits down on the sofa. He did it. It was not perfect. He was nervous. His voice was a little stiff. But he did it. He communicated. He got the information. He solved a real problem. He opens his notebook and writes 3 things. Technician, a person who fixes technical things. I've had a few complaints. Many people told me about the same problem. Between 9 and 12, not a specific time, but a window of time. 3 new pieces of real English from a real conversation on a real Monday morning. Part 3. The Commute. Marco works at a small marketing company downtown. He takes the subway every morning, 22 minutes from his apartment to the office. On the subway, Marco has a habit. He watches people, not in a strange way, just observantly, quietly. He watches how they speak to each other. He watches their body language. He notices the words they use. Today, 2 women sit across from him. They are friends. They are talking about a movie they watched over the weekend. It was so good, like genuinely one of the best things I have seen in years. I know, I was not expecting it to be that emotional. Same. I cried twice. Marco listens carefully, genuinely. He has seen this word written, but hearing it in natural speech, genuinely, it sounds slightly different than he imagined. I was not expecting it. This is a useful structure. He repeats it silently in his head. I was not expecting the weather to be this cold. I was not expecting the phone call to be so easy. I was not expecting to feel so at home today. He creates 3 sentences with the same structure. This is something his English teacher in Brazil taught him years ago. When you learn a new structure, do not just memorize it. Use it. Make it yours. Put your own life inside it. That is how language becomes real. Part 4. At work. Marco's office is modern and open. Lots of glass. Lots of light. His team has 8 people. They are from 6 different countries. This was a surprise to Marco when he arrived. He thought working in Canada would mean working only with Canadians. But Toronto is one of the most multicultural cities in the world. His colleague Priya is from India. James is from Jamaica. Yuki is from Japan. They all speak English, but they all speak it differently. Different accents, different rhythms, different expressions. At first, this was hard for Marco. He had studied one kind of English, a neutral textbook kind. But in the office, English was alive. It was flexible. It was human. He had to adjust. During the morning meeting, his manager, Sarah, uses a phrase Marco has not heard before. Okay, everyone, let's circle back on the campaign results after lunch. Marco writes it down discreetly under the table. Circle back. He will look it up later. After the meeting, he asks Priya quietly, "What does circle back mean?" Priya smiles. It means to return to a topic later, like we will talk about it again. Ah, Marco says, like revisit. Exactly, same idea, just more casual. Marco nods. He adds it to his notes. Circle back equals return to a topic, more casual, used in meetings. He uses it for the first time an hour later when he is in a smaller team conversation. Should we circle back on that after we check the numbers? His teammate James looks up and nods naturally. Good idea. No one notices that this was a brand new phrase for Marco just 60 minutes ago. That is the magic of learning language in real life. You hear it, you understand it, you use it, it becomes yours. Part 5. Lunchtime in the City. Marco eats lunch at a small cafe near the office most days. Today, he tries somewhere new. A sandwich shop with a handwritten menu on a blackboard. He reads the options carefully. Grilled chicken on sourdough with avocado, roasted tomatoes, and house aioli. He knows chicken. He knows avocado. He knows tomatoes. But sourdough and aioli, he is not 100% sure. He orders it anyway. I will have the grilled chicken on sourdough, please. Coming right up, the person behind the counter says. Coming right up. Marco turns this phrase over in his mind while he waits. It means, I will bring it to you soon. It is a fast, friendly way to say yes. It is warm. He likes it. He finds a small table by the window. While he eats, he opens a language exchange app on his phone. He has a partner, a woman named Julia, who lives in Brazil and wants to learn Portuguese. Wait, that is wrong. Julia wants to learn English. Marco helps her with English, and she helps him with... No, that is also wrong. Let me say that again, more carefully. Marco wants to improve his English. Julia wants to learn English too. They are both learners. But Marco helps Julia practice speaking, and Julia helps Marco understand Brazilian slang that even he sometimes forgets after months abroad. They exchange voice messages every day. Today, Julia sends him a message. Marco, how do you say saudade in English? Marco smiles. Saudade is a Portuguese word, a beautiful word. It means a kind of deep, nostalgic longing for something or someone you love but cannot have right now. He records his reply. Julia, there is no perfect word in English for saudade. Some people say longing. Some say missing something deeply. But honestly, not every feeling has a translation. Some emotions belong only to one language, and that is okay. That is what makes your language special. He sends it. He sits back and looks out the window. He thinks about home, about his family, about Sunday lunches that went for 3 hours. He feels something. Saudade. Part 6. The Afternoon Challenge. Back in the office, the afternoon brings a challenge Marco did not expect. Sarah calls him into her office. Marco, I want you to present the social media report at Friday's meeting. Just 5 minutes. Walk the team through the numbers. Marco nods. He smiles. Of course, he says. No problem. He walks back to his desk. Inside, his stomach drops. A presentation. In English. In front of the whole team. He has given presentations before. In Brazil. In Portuguese. He was confident. He was clear. He was even funny sometimes. But in English, his brain felt slower. His voice felt different. He was not sure how to be himself in another language. This is something many learners feel when they reach an intermediate or advanced level. They know the language, but they have not yet found their personality inside it. Who are you in English? Are you as warm, as funny, as confident? This takes time to discover, but Marco has a strategy. He opens a blank document and starts writing the presentation. Not the slides yet, just talking. Like he is explaining it to a friend. Okay, so this month we tried 3 new strategies on social media. The first one worked really well. The second one, honestly, was a disaster. And the third one surprised us all. He reads it back. It sounds like him. A little informal, a little honest, a little human. Maybe that is his English personality. Not perfect, but real. He starts building the slides. Part 7. The Evening Walk. Marco finishes work at 6. He decides to walk home instead of taking the subway. 40 minutes through the streets of downtown Toronto. He does this sometimes when he needs to think, or when he needs to not think. As he walks, he listens to a podcast, not for study, just for pleasure. An interview with a chef who grew up in 3 different countries. The chef talks about how food carries memory, how the smell of a dish can take you back to a place you have not been in years. Marco listens and nods, even though no one can see him. He understands this completely. He passes a Brazilian restaurant. He can smell it from outside. Something fried. Something warm and familiar. He does not go in today. He keeps walking. He notices something. When he is walking and listening and thinking, when he is not trying to learn English, his English is better. He is not translating in his head anymore. He is just understanding. This is called automaticity. When something becomes so practiced that it happens without effort, like riding a bicycle. You do not think about balance. You just ride. Marco is beginning to reach this stage. Not fully, but sometimes, in moments like this, English moves through him naturally, like breathing. Part 8. The Evening Routine. At home, Marco makes dinner. He calls it a simple dinner. Rice, beans, and chicken. Brazilian soul food, he calls it when he describes it to his Canadian friends. While he cooks, he calls his mother. They speak in Portuguese for 30 minutes. He tells her about the phone call with the landlord, about the new phrase he learned, about the presentation on Friday. His mother listens. She asks questions. She laughs at the right moments. She says, "You sound different, Marco." "Different how?" he asks. She thinks. "More open," she says. "Like you are stretching." He laughs. "That is exactly what it feels like," he says. "Like stretching a muscle I did not know I had." After dinner, he sits down with his notebook. Every evening, he writes 3 things in English. Not a diary, not homework, just 3 things. Something he learned today. Something he is grateful for today. Something he wants to say better tomorrow. Tonight, he writes, "I learned, circle back." To return to a topic. Used in casual professional settings. "I am grateful for," a phone call I was scared of. And then it was fine. tomorrow I want to say better. How to describe my ideas in a meeting without losing confidence halfway through. He closes the notebook. He looks around his small apartment. 3 months ago, this room felt like a hotel room. Temporary, unfamiliar. Now it has a few books on the shelf, a plant by the window, a jacket on the hook by the door. It is starting to feel like a place where someone lives. Like home. Not yet, but on the way. Closing. The truth about living in a second language. Living abroad in your second language is one of the hardest things you will ever do, and one of the most extraordinary. It changes the way you see yourself, because you have to rebuild who you are, sentence by sentence, conversation by conversation, mistake by mistake. You discover parts of yourself that your first language never asked you to use. Patience, humility, courage. The courage to say the wrong word and try again. The patience to wait for fluency to arrive. The humility to ask, "Could you repeat that, please?" Every day, Marco chooses to stay, to show up, to open his mouth even when it is hard. And every day, English opens up a little more. Not because he studied more, not because he found a magic method, because he lived in it. He let English be part of his real life, with its awkward phone calls, its overheard subway conversations, its new phrases, its unexpected presentations. He let himself be a learner every single day, and that is what transforms a student into a speaker. You do not have to be perfect, you just have to keep going. One word, one conversation, one day at a time. You are doing something brave. You are living in a language that is not your first, and that already is extraordinary. Keep going. You are closer than you think.